Hey, geek.
All right, should be all good now.
You are on camera.
Yes, I am, and I'm live. Oh, I always forget this part. Damn it.
I just put on a
Oh,
big floppy brim hat.
yeah, I could, but it's just like, but I'm still, my hair is still not completely dry yet, and I got out of the shower like an hour ago or something like that. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, I know blow dryers exist. I don't have one, and I've never blow dried my hair. I just always like
It would give
hang
you a
dry
lot
it.
of body and lift. I
I'm
think
sure.
those are words that people use for hair, right?
Yeah, I like. Also, I just like it. Like a week ago or so, I remember like Comrade Pop Bubblegum, a bisexual woman on like Twitter that we're mutuals of. She's always just thought maybe I'm more of a man than a woman because I never take my care of myself. I never like feminize myself. I never just like you know do take care of myself as like other women would and stuff like that. I haven't replied yet, but I wanted to say, that's why I kind of like think I don't think I'm a woman because like I'm a mess most of the times. I don't take care of myself. The most I do to my hair is just shower and shampoo it. But yeah, we are live. Hello, welcome everyone to Social Justice Alchemy. Well, remember, it is the weekend after the work week, but the work week's a fiction. And once revolution comes, then every day is the weekend. This is Social Justice Alchemy. Now, did I give you enough time to find the audio so that you can share
Hello,
it?
friends, and welcome to another week.
Yes, and now it's
Although,
automatically
remember,
playing. There we go. All right. Now I just need to be sharing, which means I need to get on Zoom so I can share. It's got so many
Professionals.
windows. It's
Uh, and you.
hello, friends, and welcome to another week. Although, remember, the work week is a fiction. Monday, doubly so. You can get rid of them if you really want to. This is Social Justice Alchemy.
wait.
Now, as usual, we join our chat in the middle of a sentence.
The entire intro. All right.
It's for the YouTube audience who never knows that who Murray maybe know that we are half podcast. So that's what the podcast is like. That's the intro to the podcast. Uh so yes, no Tom today right now. He probably is taking a nap. No
Yep,
Jamie today
Julie
either.
is very upset. Her sim is pregnant again with
Yes.
twins again, and she's
Yes.
a single mermaid witch mom, and it's very difficult for mermaid witches these days.
Yes, it is.
So she has to expand her sim house and find her a job that will let her work with her twins. I mean, it's that's not at all what's going on. But so hello to the chat. I see we have the
Hello.
Skag and Mithril and Ibot and
Mm-hmm.
all the regulars. That's nice.
Yes. And
Yeah.
where was I last week? Yes, I did do something RIL. I was canvassing for did we get to bless Jamie? And I don't know where Jamie is. Yes, I have to look. Maybe we can like message her to see if she's available, or I don't know if she's on Facebook right now. But anyway, last week, yes, I wasn't here because I was canvassing for Planned Parenthood. And the reason why Planned Parenthood, particularly in my era, was canvassing is that, well, Washington State is one of those many states that have like their legislation session only for like 3 months or so. In Washington State, it starts in January 12th and goes until like March 12th. That's it. We only make laws during that time. And so, in the upcoming legislative session, Planned Parenthood wanted to put forth, and there are some like state representatives and senators that do want to put forth a comprehensive sexual education bill. Um, in the because in Washington State, there is kind of like a guideline for sexual sex ed curriculum, but districts can opt out. And Sasha. Don't worry, iBot. Don't worry if you derail the conversation because, like, occasionally we derail.
There's no rails for it to be on.
There's no rails. We're not professional.
Yeah, we're not, consummate professionals like Chapo Trap House or trying to think of somebody else that doesn't have rails.
Citation needed.
They script all that shit.
No, cognitive dissonance. I don't know.
There we go. They have some rails. All right.
Kitty distraction, but yeah. Oh, stay there, Sasha. Stay there, Sasha. Washington State. Its districts can opt out, so it's very possible for high schoolers and middle schoolers in Washington State to not get any sexual education whatsoever, and that's why Planned Parenthood was out last Saturday canvassing before to get people to like, hey, do you have stories of why sexual education is important to you, or medically accurate, inclusive, comprehensive sex education is important to you? Then Planned Parenthood wanted like
Tom.
Hey Tom.
Looking quite dapper. You got a trim.
And then Tom's figuring out how like the audio works so that he can hear us, I guess.
And so that we can hear him.
That's why I was gone last week. I was canvassing for Planned Parenthood, trying to get like constituents to like share their stories of why sexual education was important for and so that we can and they can get a bill passed in the Washington State legislation to actually have force public schools at least to teach a sex ed curriculum. And Sasha's being all playful now.
Sasha was attacking the camera, and now he's attacking me.
Tom?
Oh.
I think
There, we can hear Tom now. Can Tom hear us?
I can hear you. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes,
or
indeed.
Soft
yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I'm hearing you too loud. I'm going to turn you down.
Okay.
I'm going to turn Jonathan down all the way. No, I can't.
You mean that. John or Jonathan? We're different people.
No, he said Jonathan.
Do you want me to go through all the trouble of saying some random geek?
Yes.
Every fucking time. All right, John Brockman.
Well, Tom McDonald, we're glad that you're here with us.
Thomas Scott McDonald. Come on, do the whole thing. Thomas Scott McDonald.
No, you're Cranky Pants.
No. Your name is Cranky Pants.
Cranky Pants. Okay. I'm is that because I'm old and crotchety?
Well, apparently you put on your Cranky Pants today when you came to join us.
That's what happened. Geez. No wonder I'm uncomfortable. They're pinching and they're itchy. God, it's horrible. I think I'll take them off. I'll just stand up and take them off right here.
I'm feeling comfortable. I'm wearing my leggings today. And yes, just the leggings now. And it's Sailor Moon.
All right.
Keep it PG-13. We're not really kid-friendly, but come on.
No, we're not particularly kid-friendly. I'm late, a little bit late, because, well, for two reasons. One, I'm pulling a John Brockman.
You were sleeping?
No, well, maybe I was sleeping. I don't know. I might have dozed off, but also, just show up a little bit late and have everybody be, really excited to see me.
I am excited to see you.
The reason I am a little bit late is that I just before I came on, I saw YouTube video, a short YouTube video that the lead on it was, or the title, what the blurb was, that a Fox News poll showed that an overwhelming majority of the people in that Fox News poll supported impeachment and removal.
Yep. And that's a Fox News poll,
And
which they conduct
yeah.
only on rotary phones and shit.
Yeah, and clipboards in old folks' homes. It's pretty select view. No, I'm sure it's reasonably conducted in a way that can look good to people who don't know much better about surveys. But anyway, it was 54% were in favor of impeachment and removal. Further 4%. This is I think this is about right, but it's well over 50%. Further 4% thought he should be impeached but not removed.
What the fuck? Like, how the fuck does that work?
Well, that he did something wrong, but like Clinton, he should get some censure or something.
Or Andrew Johnson.
Yeah. And only 41% said that he should not be impeached or removed at all, that this should not be going forward. And that's, of course, right now, that could change. It will change. But I think it's a good sign that at least the talking points are going to be a little bit harder for Trump to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I wonder how it skews along party lines, because I guarantee you the fundagelicals give zero fucks, and they are like 97, 98%. It's like within the margin of error. Some people tripped and fell on the wrong button when they were trying to answer the poll. They do not support impeachment. They don't give any fucks.
Mithral says I'm the voice of reason, and David says that today's name of the calendar is Tomas. Tomorrow's is Jonathan. So
a lot of random Christianized names coming up around Yuletime, huh? Abolish the office of president? Very few, probably. I know I do. No one person should have that much power. No one person should be able to escape accountability like that.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that, but I do think that the balance of powers is all out of whack, all completely out of whack, and the way we select our representatives and senators is rife with opportunities for fuckery.
Yeah. I mean,
and then we have the Supreme Court saying, oh yeah, gerrymandering is bad, but we can't do anything about it. If you don't like the fact that your vote has been eliminated, you just have to vote.
Yeah. Well, but you have freedom of speech. You can buy, you can spend as many millions of dollars as you want on candidates that support your point of view.
This is America. You have as many rights as you can buy.
Yeah.
I'm curious why you're petting yourself.
I'm putting balm on my beard. Make it somewhat controllable.
Balm in your beard.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, it's reversed, but it's
no,
we see it.
You can read it.
We see it. Yeah,
we can read
Billy Jealousy, Devil's Delight, Beard Balm.
Yep.
What is
it's softer than beard wax. It basically lets me style my beard a bit. My beard really wants to be bushy, but doesn't quite have the body for that.
What's that compared to beard oil?
Stiffer than oil.
Stiffer than oil, not as stiff as wax.
Yep. So it lets me control it a bit.
And probably on the end of the scale, on the stiff end of the scale, would be what?
Actual wax.
Glue.
Glue is stiffer than oil. Yes.
Instant glue.
Yes.
And on the other end would be nothing, which is.
Yeah, I put nothing in my beard, and it's just like
on my beard.
I'm trying to grow mine out long just to see what it'll do.
I have
It's basically be bushy as fuck.
Yeah, that's how my beard goes. I get for 5 months without shaving, it gets Grizzly Adams to about here. But I also don't put anything in it, and so it's just like it almost Peter Kropotkin in a way, and it's just like, but I never much cared for it. Hey, Lepto, like Sat Sack, hello, thank you for joining us in the chat.
Hello.
And yes, this is BreadTube, not RegTube, right? Yeah,
we hate all power structures except possibly Tom. Tom is questioning the anarchist.
Well, you mean how do you mean that? You mean you want me as power structure? I mean, I'll take it. I would be a benevolent dictator. That would be a good way to go. My beard, by the way, I did trim it from the last time I was here.
Yeah, that was one of my first comments, was to note that you were looking very dapper.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Or at least very well trimmed.
Well trimmed, yeah. When my beard gets long, I sleep on my right side, so when my beard gets longer, it gets all matted down on this side.
Yeah.
And so it kind of bushes out over here, and then this side is all slicked back.
Well, my beard down here wants to swoop out this way, which, regardless of how I sleep, it just wants to come this way. So that's another reason for me to put on the wax. Otherwise, my beard would just flock of seagulls its way around my head, I think. For the younger viewers, Flock of Seagulls was a band in the 80s that had really weird hair.
David Scott probably will put some songs by Flock of Seagulls in the chat right now. I bet, because he always do that. He finds a Cat Stevens song and said, "Jonathan, this is you." And I wonder if David's going to find a musical artist that has the hair how I have it right now, which is I brushed it, I combed it over to one side.
That would be Boy George.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, there is one, and it's yep, and there's going to be a link in the live chat.
Yeah, and I just saw David's beard, and it's very how would I say that, massive. It's sort of, I guess it's lovely.
Beehive.
It's lovely.
That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw a beehive.
Okay, that's too much. Let go. Fuck. For the listeners, I was showing off Sasha attacking my hand. He almost, just barely, kind of broke the skin there.
Barely kind of broke the skin.
Cat scratch fever coming up now. Oh, you're gonna go after underage women. That's Wait, no, that's what the song is about. That's not
what I wouldn't hold it against Ted Nugent if he did that in the 70s, though. Did he die? Did he die recently?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see memes that come up that say, sad news, Ted Nugent is still alive.
Yeah, that is sad news that Ted Nugent is still alive. It's just yeah. I mean, I don't know. I do like Stranglehold because it was on the Guitar Hero World Tour, but it's just yeah, but it's just separate the art from the artist.
See.
Except that in this case, we could fire the artist into a volcano.
Yes.
That could be. Comrade Ibot, as a side note, asking if they can get a twit plug, trying to make it into something, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, you have the Comrade Ibot. You have mod duties, mod powers, so you can
put a link in the chat anytime you want.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I should put my links in the chat.
Nugent is a conservative, according to David Skoke. That means you have to be 150 years old. No, that's just Mitch McConnell. He's a turtle. But maybe we can unelect him for that.
I think he, but when is he up for re-election though?
I think it's 2020 because he's got an opponent right now that's really working towards trying to get him out of office.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's also so funny how it's just like in order for like some corrupt people not to have all that power, we just had to like unelect or remove from office the specific one person, and it's just like, wait a minute, how do we set up the rules like this anyway without checks and balances, like for like Senate Majority Leader or something like that? Because yeah, I see those like photos of like the stacks of bills that have not even been like put out on the like Senate floor for a vote or even discussion or anything like that. Because
Yeah.
Bishop McConnell, in his words, I want to stop socialism at all costs, and it's just like that's not even socialism in those bills.
Yeah.
Nowhere close.
Socialism is when the government does things, and the more government does things, the socialister it is.
Communism.
Well, except if what the government does is putting people in cages and appointing judges that will fuck up the judicial system for the next 30 or 40 years.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, socialism is doing things for brown people. Good government is doing things to brown people.
but yeah,
That fits.
but that's my criticism of the system as it is right now, and of liberals who kind of like sometimes just like don't have an answer for like the justice system as it is right now in America. They just like they don't know how to like fix the justice system where we're so many conservative like justices on the benches right now for life. And so it's kind of like, you know what, maybe we should try a new system. Absolutely. But of course, like for many liberals or like anyone else, is just like, oh no, I don't want a massive change to like the government. That's a revolution. Oh my god, violence. Oh my god, we can't have revolution. People die in that. And to which I was bring to people dying right now. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But also, yeah, and that's the thing with like the impeachment thing. It's just like at least the House did vote, and it is an impeachment, articles of impeachment. But yet, so many things that like Trump has done were not impeachable, like the Muslim ban, the children in cages, all of the racism, the very fine people on both sides. All of that was not impeachable, or even the obstruction of justice. Like they tried, I think, or like they had the Mueller report. None of those were impeachable. But the abuse of power that they finally get impeached on is like threatening to pull military support from Ukraine for Ukraine to try to get dirt onto like Hunter Biden. And it's someone pointed out on like Twitter as well. That's how Trump got impeached, because like trying to like use his power against another power, Joe Biden, or like Ukraine. Bill Clinton got impeached for lying to Republicans, and Nixon almost got impeached for stealing documents from the Democrats. So it's not the impeachment has only been used against powerful people who are screwing over other powerful people, not anyone else. And so yeah.
Well, they set it up so that the screwing over of other people is legal. So
yeah.
That's an explanation. That's not an excuse. That's certainly
right. And I
why
totally
they do
agree.
it.
Yeah, that James Madison said so, that if men were not angels, we wouldn't need angels or something like that. It's convenient, James. It's convenient that you and your peers are the one who be ruling over the non-angels, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But of course, he was a cis-het white man in like that times, and was rich and had property. Yes, rich.
So, in happy news, Trump got impeached.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's facing a consequence.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, he's not. But
no,
he's got an asterisk anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although Fox News, there are two things. First of all, Fox News is making I don't know how big a deal, but a deal of the fact that Pelosi hasn't sent the articles of impeachment over to the Senate, or to the the impeachment documents over to the Senate yet. And according to some of the people on Fox News, that means he's not been impeached yet. It's the impeachment vote and the transmission of the articles to the Senate that can constitute the impeachment. It's, they're grasping at straws, but that's what they're going to do. But the other thing, and more interesting to me, is that I have a button that I've been wearing for, well, since shortly after we invaded Iraq.
So 20 years now.
Yeah.
Closing on.
Well, yeah, close enough. Government accounting, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. ITMFA.
Impeach the motherfucking assholes.
Impeach the motherfucker already.
Yes.
And I put it away during Obama's years. The stuff that he was doing, he was.
He wasn't bragging about his war crimes the way Republicans do.
Yeah, well, and
just the drones.
And the war crimes were basically continuations of what was going on before. I don't think he added too much new to it.
True.
Some things, but not as much as he didn't start it. Or anyway, point being, he didn't start any major wars in Central America that I remember. Which is anyway. Point being, I basically put it away for 8 years, and then when Trump got elected, I waited a month or two just to be sure, because
he committed an impeachable crime within the first week when he appointed Jared Kushner.
Well, yeah,
you're conservative, Tom.
That's only nepotism. That's who cares about?
It's against the law.
Who cares about that? Well, yeah, we've shown that we don't much care about that. But anyway, so I started wearing the button again, and now I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's a part of my coat. If I take it off, it'll feel wrong. But if I leave it on, it will be wrong. Because we've impeached the motherfucker already.
Yeah, we have. He's now So this is historical day on Thursday. Donald Trump became the third president to be impeached. The other two being Andrew Johnson, which was based off of racism a lot, as he obstructed the Reconstruction of the South or something like that. Or it
was because he was pro-South.
Yes. And he was nearly voted to be removed from office, but he managed to stay in office by one vote in the Senate at the time.
Yeah, and that was by a person who thought he was guilty. If I remember correctly, he thought he was guilty, but didn't want to set the precedent by his vote.
Interesting.
I could be wrong about that, but that's when you tell a story. That's the piece that comes back to me, that the guy was unwilling to set the precedent of removing a president, of being the individual to do that, the one vote to do that.
Well, fuck him. He should have set the precedent.
Well, yeah. That would have made things a little better in the future. But
the Andrew Johnson is like one of his peers, and it's just like we don't do that to one of our own. We don't remove people from power. It's just like
we don't hold rich white men accountable for what they do.
Yeah, I mean they're the ones that should rule over the peasants, as it were, or the serfs. And then Blair Clinton was the other one that got impeached for perjury. So yeah, but yeah, Nancy Pelosi have not delivered the documents of impeachments to the Senate until the Democrats can be confident that there'll be a fair trial, even though Mitch McConnell said so himself that he's not going to be a impartial juror, and he already said on some Fox News, I'm thinking, that he will work with the White House counsel on on it, and so it's just like he's in line step with the White House, but not surprising with Mitch McConnell, he's just like
Complete
whatever
scum.
Trump's won. Yes.
And now I thought of someone who has committed impeachable offenses, somebody who should be removed from office. Brett Kavanaugh.
Yes.
He lied during his confirmation hearings.
Yeah.
And therefore committed contempt of Congress. That's a felony. He perjured himself. He should be impeached and removed from office.
Yeah, but there's a gentleman's agreement to look away from those laws.
Well, gentleman just means rich white guy, so fuck that noise.
True.
Well, actually, and it's not limited to, it's not entirely limited to men. So, gentle persons agreement to look past the law.
The lords and ladies.
I think the ladies. I think there's a higher percentage of ladies that would just as soon get his ass out of there, even the powerful positions.
Yeah.
Well, not Susan Collins.
Yeah.
Not Susan Collins.
Yeah.
Probably not Tulsi Gabbard either. She'd just vote present again. Fucking fucker, fuckity fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't understand why some people like her.
Because they're Republicans.
No, yeah, the Tulsi Gabbard. Why do people like Tulsi Gabbard?
Tulsi.
Like, that's who I was like. She's still not in the race, though, is she?
So.
Technically, maybe.
Like,
she wasn't in the last debate, I don't think.
Well, so was Julian Assange and Cory Booker were also not in the debate either, and some of the news media. Julian Assange is one of the other candidates.
Julian Assange?
You mean Tim, right? Tom? Julian Assange is the WikiLeaks guy. He's not a candidate.
I know, but Jonathan just said.
Yeah, I know.
Julia Castro. Okay. That's who I meant.
I was going to say, if Julian Assange was in the debates.
You're right. Okay, that was my brain fart.
Holy fuck, I thought,
That was.
Am I having a stroke? What's going on?
I'm having a stroke, yes.
No, I said the wrong name. Because the first Julian that came to my mind, Julian Assange was like, oh wait, it's Julian Castro. That's right. Okay. That's a Democrat candidate. Yes, not Julian Assange. Okay, no. Screw Julian Assange. No.
Comrade Ibot asked if anybody listened to Worst Year Ever on Tulsi. What did they say on Tulsi? Was it that that when she was presented with a historic opportunity to stand up for something, she punted?
She sat down.
She did not stand up.
She took a smart step to the back. Because she wants a job on Fox News. That's really all she's going for.
Oh, that makes sense why she's putting herself as a candidate for the Democratic nominee, right? Now we're talking about Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I am.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to make sure what John's talking about. I never know what he's talking about. He's always doing something left wing and crazy, and I have no idea.
Right, because that was a kind of talking points of I listened to a lot of Democracy Now! Yesterday just to catch up, and that was one of the things to kind of mention how Julia Castro and Cory Booker did not meet the requirements. Julian Castro. I'm sorry. Did not make the requirements to be able to be on that debate stage. So they did make it a point that the only person of color on the debate stage of that night was Andrew Yang. And both Cory Booker and Julian Castro did wrote letters to the DNC to change the requirements so that they become to make it better so that the debates are less white, as it were. And I'm more power to them, and I still don't like them as the candidates. I think I like Julia Castro better as a candidate than Cory Booker. Cory Booker, my problem is that if he's so eager to reach across the aisle, it's just no, okay, no, and the rest of what he has said policy wise just doesn't interest me as much. Now, both of them are probably better than Andrew Yang because I don't like Andrew Yang's UBI plan at all.
Let's give you less money and then take away your benefits.
Yes.
Just a way to shovel more money to the wealthy. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Silicon Valley way of like having the UBI. They want to make those iPhones and like provide you Netflix, but like you, if you're poor and can't buy Netflix or the next iPhone, so just like, okay, here's the fix of it. Here's some money so you can buy our products.
Comrade Ibot said Tulsi grew up in a cult and hired fellow cultists for a campaign. I wonder.
Well, that's true of pretty
was.
much all the religious people.
But I mean, what cult was it that she was in? I mean, cult, I assume is something, is sub...
Less mainstream.
Sub-mainstream. Anybody know what that?
No idea. I'm currently Googling her. She's Hindu.
Well, I knew that, but Hinduism has a lot of different branches and elements. If it's just that she's Hindu and
Skag, if it's Cult of Cthulhu, I might actually like her a bit more if it's Cult of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember watching Mexi months ago, did a video on UBI. She's against it just because it'd be so easy for the capitalists to use it to gut all the other services and benefits, and that's exactly what Andrew Yang proposed.
Yeah.
And also, if you do not like put a cap on like price fixing as we're on like the necessities like rent and food or something like that. Like Vietnam has price fixing right now on like food. It's super cheap for like even a homeless person to like buy rice. But if you don't have a cap on those sort of things and UBI gets implemented, you have more money now, so you can afford the increase in rents. Or it's just like once one landlord increases the rents, then it's like, well, the market says that your apartment value is this much now, and so we're increasing your rent, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes one person to like raise the prices and increase the market, and we know there's plenty of people in those positions that want to raise prices no matter what, even though raising prices on like AIDS drugs kills people. Remember, social murder is a thing. Frederick Engels coined that in the 1840s or 1850s.
And now various politicians are bragging about the fact that they put a bill on the floor to reduce prices for insulin. Why is there a price for insulin? People need it to live. And it's not like they're getting high off it.
Well, is insulin one of the drugs that the inventor patented specifically so that it would not be, you could control the price and that it would not be sold for profit?
Yeah, I've seen.
Was it that, or was it the Salk vaccine, or one of the polio
vaccines?
Salk
definitely did not do that with polio. Or he wanted everyone to be able to get polio, so he deliberately did not patent it.
I'm wondering. These are these things that in the back of my head, when you talk about Andrew Jackson's impeachment and this,
Andrew Johnson. Andrew Jackson was the seventh president.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who should have been.
Jackson should have been impeached.
So yes. See so many people that just get away with just like genocide or like other horrible things. Well, the concentration camps are like do kind of like count for like genocide according to UN.
They're not illegal.
Yeah. But before they mentioned the Andrew Jackson, what was the point before that I have in my mind? Damn it. Train of thought. Where was it going? Oh well.
Off the cliff. No.
Don't worry, Comrade Ibot. You see, we derail ourselves. Don't worry about you, whatever you write in there for derailing us. Besides, David Skagg purposely does that to us. Like how David Skagg said to me, SRG, you do realize the old ones regard humanity as at best tools being used for the purpose of ruling the universe. Yes, but I still would respect Tulsi Gabbard if she was part of Cult of Cthulhu a little bit more. Sheepishly and shallowly, I would think she was more cool because of that. So might as well like switch topics a little bit of the unless everyone and someone else had a thought.
Mm-mm.
I'm just correcting David. He's saying that Trump is the reincarnation of Jackson as he is being impeached.
That's
Oh,
nice.
I see. All right. Imagine it. Okay, gotcha. All right. So this is a way of impeaching the asshole that caused a trail of tears.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just
by getting the guy who celebrates the trail of tears.
and remember, people, Trump is no longer orange. Impeach. Oh no, okay, no, right. I remember my thought before I distracted myself. Yes, it was the insolent inventor that did patent it so that they'll be like fixed, so that like the prices would be as low as possible. This is of course according to a Facebook meme that I have shared every now and again, and should constantly be shared because yes, this should not be a price on healthcare. You should not privatize healthcare.
It's not something you can bargain about, you know.
Yeah.
You are, your life is literally on the line.
Yeah, it is. But now I remember as well. It's because like not this week, but last week, I think a former manager for Boeing was in a congressional hearing about the Max 737 like airplane line that finally got grounded this week by Boeing, referring to like the devastating disasters and crashes that happened like in like Malaysia and Ethiopia, I think, killing over 300 people. The manager worked for the Pentagon and said if there was even like 1/10 of these safety concerns that the Pentagon had or the people on the floor had for these planes, the Pentagon would have like grounded the planes until those safety issues were fixed. And this former manager said that to a Boeing executive. The Boeing executive said to him, "The Pentagon is not a profit-making machine."
It
social murder,
be.
people. Yeah. So on happier news or less depressing news, we had a YouTube walkout last week.
Yes, and I participated in it. I don't know if there's any sort of metrics or measurements we can get about it, but
yeah, for me, I decided to participate in it, and in the ways I still am, because if you see my icon, yes, it still says YouTube walkout, and most of my videos are still privatized for the YouTube walkout video. And that's because not because I've been like participating in the walkout still. I was planning to like stop after the 18th because I wanted to join in the UK walkout as well. It's because I'm lazy, or also I've been working 12 hours a day, and so I've been tired when I get home, and I haven't gone around to it. I also want to change my avatar to something else, not go back to the old avatar, so that's why I haven't done that yet. But even though yes, I understand how it's like it's not going to do much, and I understand how it's like how we know how much of effect we'll have on the algorithm or anything like that. Oh, hey Phoenix, you just joined us. Hello, Phoenix.
hey, Phoenix.
It's a good thing that you walk in on like a not depressing topic, but earlier we had some more depressing topics. But the reason why
it's Christmas. There's very rarely any good news around this time.
I'll mention a Christmas movie I wanted to share with people as well.
Star Wars?
It's not Star Wars. It's not the Star Wars Christmas special or holiday special, Life Day. The reason why I decided to join in the YouTube walkout, just for the very least to show camaraderie with the other people who decide to do something, as it were. I mean, it's something. It's like a sign of solidarity or a sign of action, as it were. The only regret I had is that, like, I wish I could have like done like a letter writing campaign, as it were, to just like. And you never know, just like send out the emails or letters to all those big YouTubers, the Green Brothers or Jaded Nations or any of these other YouTubers that have like millions of subscribers, Letty Says stuff or anything like that, and maybe say at least get them aware of the YouTube walkout kind of thing. Because yeah, the terms of services just changed on the 10th, whereas like it's very possible for, at least from the terms of services, for YouTube to terminate a service if it's no longer commercially commercially viable. And what is commercially viable? Many LGBTQ plus people have already noticed that, like, if you replace the word gay with happy, and like other queer with like something else, those videos are monetized. But if you say gay and queer, those videos are not monetized. And so it's kind of like the bullshit thing that YouTube does since they have all the power, and the central patriarchy as well, and capitalism. And so even though this like the YouTube walkout is just like it's at least something. So that's why I decided to participate in it. And then later today, I will unprivatize all my videos so that you can see them all. And then, as in YouTube always had that ability. Yeah, they kind of always had that ability. You're right, Phoenix. They always had that ability.
But now they're making it explicit because they're planning on doing a big push, is my guess.
Yeah, other people have already said that like they kind of like already had like problems with like either a lot of videos being demonetized or videos never being monetized or some videos being deleted, as it were. And it wouldn't be surprised if like more channels get deleted, as it were.
Has YouTube ever made a profit?
I don't know.
I know Twitter hasn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because that's the thing as well. How much that's also when you think about it, try to ask the question of like, wait a minute, how often has these websites made a profit? Well, how profitable are ads anyway? And right now, the big thing, or the new thing that like companies are trying to sell and make profits off of is data.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that was like part of the whole WeWork thing as well, or just like, well, it's always finances. What is finances? As David Graeber says. Finances is just simply like managing other people's debts. And so if we just have a jubilee and forgive everyone's debts, how many billions would Jeff Bezos or others billionaires have? A lot of them would just disappear.
That would be fun.
Billionaires, though. That would be fun, though. Yes, that would be fun. So, you know, those like bankers and all those hedge fund managers just like seeing their wealth just like disappear like that because it's so a lot of it's speculation.
Actually, what I think we should do is we should forgive debts for everyone in the bottom 50%.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's what David Graeber also said about the 2008 crash. If the government bailed out the mortgagers, all the people who had like mortgages that were defaulting, that would also save the banks as well. Instead, they saved the banks instead of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Powers that be.
Apparently, Iceland went the other way and threw bankers in jail. And they, if I remember correctly, I haven't heard that about them for a year or two, but apparently they recovered just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
50% of households, 50% of money. The bottom 50% of people owning stuff, Skag. The poor 50.
Yeah. Because I think this is like American exceptionalism. Why do so many people who are in that bottom 50%, the most of them just like think it must be my fault that I'm in this position instead of like trying to like, I don't know, change the law so that they won't be in that way. Yeah, they often just like blame themselves for this situation instead of the system, which is terrible as it is. Surveillance Capital. That does sound like a very fascinating book, Mithril. But yeah, I bet it is depressing.
Capitalism is always watching. Capitalism is always there for you. Capitalism cares to the extent that it can make a profit.
Yes. But good news, or somewhat good news in a way, we have all decided that it was Hatsune Miku that wrote the Harry Potter books. Just like it's Hatsune Miku who created Minecraft and Earthward Jim and the Ender's Games books. Because, no, J.K. Rowling, no, she didn't create the Harry Potter books. No, she did not write that. She's the TERF, and we have known that for 5 years now because she had like a anti-trans like subplot in like Silkworm books or something like that. But now it's been revealed more people can't ignore it anymore, at least, that J.K. Rowling is a TERF. And no, that's not a slur.
J.K. Rowling is the worst.
Now, yes, Mark Hamill did like that tweet because he liked the first 4 lines of it and didn't realize that the last line of it, that tweet, was problematic. But once he was made aware of it, I
He
think he unliked it.
apologized.
He
Yeah.
apologized.
Which
That
is like, what the fuck? How can a white guy do that? That's not how you white guy. He's white guying wrong.
oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Phoenix shared this on her Facebook of McGoggin crying as he always does about it's biological sex, it's radio, and some of that. Not Mark Hamill, and just like, wow. Mark Hamill apologizing for his actions upsets you that much, McGoggin? Oh yeah, and Father Ted left those Zach. Yeah. Hazuno Miko created Father Ted, not this Greiner guy who wants to make his own social media, I think. David, you would never apologize for anything? Well,
that makes a lot of sense for you. You're a skag.
he's right. So
you don't know he's white. Just because he's from Scandinavia doesn't mean he's white.
Right.
What? But being right did make him white?
Well, the picture looked reasonably Caucasian.
Oh yeah, that picture he showed earlier in the chat of his beard. Oh wait, I've been meaning to do this earlier, but like Phoenix being in the chat reminds me: give Phoenix money.
Money. The Phoenix and Joanna, I think.
Yeah. I'll also put in a link for Joanna's, but first, I'll put in a link for Phoenix. Please ignore the dead name. The Phoenix, if you want to use a different link, that'll be fine. And Joanna has put out the recent Bacon Bowl. I don't have the link for that one yet, but there's also a link for Joanna's PayPal. Kevin Logan also had to put out his PayPal link earlier this week as well, and so. I don't know if this is because of me becoming a leftist. I now know more people that need to beg online for money, or is the system itself that causing more people to have to beg for money online? Could be both.
Well, if you hang around with people that think that the society is not working for them, it's probably because it's not working for them financially, as well as in other ways. As long as we're talking about people who are doing GoFundMes or raising money, Julie also.
Yes, Julie is also raising money because she's spending a lot of money trying to ease Merlin's suffering in his late stage life.
Yeah, and she is not here today because of Merlin suffering at the moment. And her suffering because of it mainly.
Yes.
It's keep them in your thoughts if you think about things like that.
I would share the GoFundMe or PayPal link if she shared that, but I don't think she has created the GoFundMe yet.
She the other day had a picture, a prelim picture of herself with Merlin, and was going to get a better picture for the GoFundMe, and so that's the last I heard about it. So that would have been yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, yesterday.
So I assume that either it's not up yet or it's not as broadly put out there as it should be or will be.
Yeah, but also thinking, and probably she hasn't gone around to it because she hasn't had the spoons. So that's always another thing. So Cavill makes, as Comrade Ibot said in the chat, so Cavill makes a sexy Geralt. Geralt. That's right. If anyone was wondering. Now, Henry Cavill still is a bit of a jerk in real life, but I can separate the artist from the artist, the art from the artist. And I have not been watching the Witcher Netflix show yet, based off the best-selling book.
Series of books. I've watched the first half dozen, apparently. No. Yes. Yeah, the first 5 episodes so far. Um, it's winter break, so I have a lot more free time than usual. So yeah, I've watched quite a few episodes. It's pretty good. Um, for those of you who haven't followed the books or um, the video games, it can be. I think it would be pretty confusing, especially since they don't do a very good job indicating that the 3 different stories, because they're following the 3 main characters, they're taking place at different times.
Oh.
They're like decades apart. Um,
Oh.
and they don't really distinguish between those, so it might be a bit confusing.
Okay, so because the thing is, like, you can do that. You can tell 3 separate storylines at the same time and jump in between them, but it's like, because in the anime Bacano, it did that, but they always like show 1930, 1931, 1932, and also those storylines did have distinct settings. One of the storylines, it happened on a train, the Flying Pussyfoot. And in another storyline, it only involved like one character as she was like on the quest to like find her brother, I think. And then the other storylines happen at a different place and different time. But those 3 storylines from locations, and while in 2 of the storylines they did follow like a lot of similar characters. I don't know. That one seemed to like manage to do it. I think it's the distinct locations for Bacano that managed to like pull that off. But it's really tricky to do. And if like, since The Witcher doesn't really help, if you're confusing the audience will like, if the audience is trying to like figure out what's happening, what's going on, they're not going to like, they have a lot of time or energy to actually be engrossed in the story, or the confusion will cause the dissonance. So the confusion will like break immersion, as it were. So yeah.
In this case, the storylines are really separate. They haven't intersected at all. It's just been kind of hints here and there that they're taking place. No, not even necessarily hints. But like at one point, somebody's talking about winning her first battle decades in the past, and then in another story, they talk about that same battle as if it just happened. And, at one point you have Geralt dealing with a king who's clearly, in his 50s or 60s. And then you have Yennefer meeting that king as a child, like in the next scene. So, I mean, it hasn't played a huge role, but I don't know if people will notice it right away, if it'll confuse the shit out of them or not. And also, they're just not going into any details about the fact that, Geralt gets extra strength and speed and powers when he drinks his potions. It just sort of shows him drinking potions sometimes. I think that this show is really made for the fans rather than for casual viewers. It's just, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, it's because like, it's one thing to like have fan service, but it's another thing to like at least invite in some newcomers. But there was a lot of things that like seem to like only be made for fans. The Final Fantasy movie, animated movie, Advent Children, was really just for the fans. The non-fans were not welcome in that one. And I mean, I can see how like pleasing the fans from a financial sense or for a safe bet can make sense. Like with like the video games are very,
but you can only do that for a low budget thing, and this really isn't that. This seems like they're really pouring money into it.
Yeah, I think they want like Lexhard like said in like a Twitter thread that I'll just go ahead and share in the live chat. That they blame Game of Thrones for the epic fantasy tropes of using women as literary props, because like Lex noticed of like naked women used as sector decoration.
I think that goes back a little bit before Final Fantasy.
Game of Thrones.
Or Game of Thrones, yeah.
True,
but yeah, it really does. I was talking with my friend Alice about this last night. There are a lot of titties in The Witcher.
True for the game.
Wait,
the first game.
What's this on again?
It's on Netflix. Witcher.
Oh, I don't get Netflix. I have to get Netflix.
No, the TV show has a lot more tits than the game did. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game had plenty of tits, but I mean, the very first episode, Geralt walks into the tower where a mage has set up an illusion of naked women picking fruit for some reason.
Well, first episode, of course, that makes sense. I mean, I would stick around for that, but then that's me. I'm unreconstructed asshole. Well,
I'm like, those are very, very nice tits. Those ladies are probably very, very happy with those tits. But after a while, it just sort of seems gratuitous because they're all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually, I don't know. So okay, so of The Witcher, I never read the books. Of the Witcher games, I did play the first game and actually like it a lot. I do own Witcher 2 and Witcher 3. I haven't played them yet, though. I'm sure I'll absolutely love Witcher 3 because I heard nothing but good things about it, about the story, or about the side quests, or about the world. I mean, it's some people seem to love Witcher 3 a lot more than Skyrim, and that is high praise.
Mhm.
But I believe it too. So, should I play the other two games before I watch the Netflix series?
I've only played 3, and I'm following it just fine.
Okay. Okay, so it'll probably be the thing where it's just like I can follow the story, but like there might be like some subtle things I won't pick up on, like just Easter eggs, as it were, in the show that I won't pick up on unless I play the game. So I'm just assume that would be the case.
That's my guess. It feels like it's just following the story of Geralt. It's not going off in a new direction or anything. It's just an adaptation of the book series. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. So Christmas is coming up next week. Do you have any like favorite Christmas movies you like to go to, or do get into yourself in the Christmas spirit? If you do that,
Die Hard.
not like Die Hard. Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's the only Christmas movie worth watching, really.
I will recommend. You're gonna have to like pirate it or find it. You might somehow find DVDs. Is a because I'm a weeboo. It is an anime movie, but it is from the director Satoshi Kon, Tokyo Godfathers. 3 homeless people found a newborn baby, in the trash on Christmas Eve. And through a
Oh,
series
movie. That's right. I was distracted for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about? This is horrible.
It's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and unlike other anime Christmas movies, because in Japan, Christmas Eve is kind of like more like the holiday you spend with your special someone, not your special everyone. New Year's is the day you spend with special everyone. That's the family holiday, and proposing to your loved one, to your future partner on Christmas Eve is kind of like a big thing. That's why also a lot of like anime episodes of like Christmas Eve has the main character or the main female lead propose to the, or the male female. Yeah. So yeah, they special date on Christmas Eve. That's kind of thing. Tokyo Godfathers at least actually more or less have like that Christmas themes or like the theme of Christmas in it. I mean, it opens up with nativity as it were. But I really like that movie. I really recommend it. I've not seen anyone that's seen the movie say it's a bad movie. So it's a high recommendation. And also it's going to get like a DVD re-release, a 4K remaster as well next year by G-Kids. So wanted to mention that because Christmas is coming up, and Tokyo Godfather is one of my favorite Christmas movies by one of my favorite directors, Toshi Kon, who also directed Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, which Jamie J also saw this summer actually, and Paprika.
There are 2 movies that I like to watch around Christmas time, and both of them are because it's not that time yet, but I'm getting on an age. Let's say the first one, the traditional one is the Jimmy Stewart one.
Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life, and I like to watch that Christmas Eve in black and white, just because it's sort of traditional, and it has emotional hooks for me in my own history. The other one is Christmas Story, because again, because it feels so much like when I was a kid. It was set 10 or 15 years earlier, but it feels very much like when I was a kid, and it brings back all those memories, and that's kind of nice. Although I don't think I'd ever have gotten a weapon of any kind, and yeah, as a
I
kid.
thought you grew up in rural Wisconsin. I
I
thought
got
everybody
weapon.
had weapons there.
I got weapons, but I had to buy them myself.
Oh.
No, I think I might have gotten a BB gun for my birthday one year, because my birthday's in June, and it's more interesting to have a BB gun in the summer than in winter.
That makes sense.
And so I was, and then I had. I got when I was old enough to get a 22. I saved up and bought that myself, and then
you didn't just open a bank account and get one for free?
No, they didn't do those things then. No, they weren't all that. There wasn't a lot of competition on my town for savings accounts. So those are my two things. The one thing that the only thing I didn't like about the Christmas Story was the racist characterization of the Chinese people in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And when my son comes to where I live on Christmas Day, when we go out to eat, one of the only places, and probably the only place that's open, is a Chinese buffet. Mm-hmm. And so when we go there, we go with that in mind, and are extremely polite and respectful of the almost entirely Chinese staff. Mm-hmm. And I speak a little bit of Chinese, just basic, thank you, please, thank you, and that kind of stuff. And I use that, and most of the time when I say after somebody has done something for me, I say xie xie, and they will, they'll brighten up and be quite happy about that. So I am. So anyway, that's my Christmas. So fuck Die Hard, and I have no idea about the anime shit. I have no idea. I have no idea who directed and wrote and everything. I remember. I know who wrote, but I don't remember who directed the Christmas Story. And of course,
it was probably Ron Howard. He loves that sort of shit.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I know.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember where I was going either.
Ron Howard did direct the Christmas movie, the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
It was Bob Clark directed A Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm. And how the Grinch Stole Christmas. I always saw the Jim Carrey movie once. I thought it was okay, but I have no strong feeling to watch it again. The Chuck Jones animated one with Boris Karloff as the Grinch is still that is the Grinch. That is how the Grinch Stole Christmas. That the animated short. That's really good. If you get the DVD of it, or at least the DVDs that my family got, it also had another Chuck Jones animated short of the Dr. Seuss story of Horton Hears the Who. That was actually pretty good too. Now, last year I did see the Illusions animated Grinch with Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. That was better than the Jim Carrey one. I actually like some elements of it. I say it's okay. So it's interesting. Yeah, go watch it, but it's just not a strong recommendation. Just if you want to, yeah, you can check it out.
Just interesting fact: the guy who directed A Christmas Story, Bob Clark, also directed Porky's and Porky's 2.
Ah!
In fact, he directed Porky's 2 the same year he directed A Christmas Story.
I can see the through line.
It's the lamp, right?
Okay, yeah.
It must be Italian, fragile. What are your folks' opinions on the stop motion animation shorts done by Bacon or Rass, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or all the other Christmas holiday shorts that they do.
They're just sort of always around. I don't think I've ever actually watched one all the way through intentionally.
Yeah, they're all both weird. Yeah, I much prefer like Rankin and Bass to like other works, like the 1977 animated Hobbit movie. That one's still good. It's better than the Hobbit trilogy as a whole. Though the first Hobbit movie was like I liked Unexpected Journey. But I love Rankin and Bass's like Last Unicorn movie. I love that movie a lot. They also did the original Thundercats. Oh, by the way, I know that like Julie said like when I showed this off when I was at like Community Con, there's no way this is like 30 ounces or something like that. No, I checked with the people who make this mug. This is 30 ounces. Hold 30 ounces. So she was wrong. What else did I want to mention? I wanted to mention. I'll say I mentioned Tokyo Gun first. I mentioned the walkout. I mentioned why I wasn't here last week. I was canvassing for Planned Parenthood so that we can get like sex ed to be like mandatory for public schools in Washington State. It's not right now, so districts can opt out. And so we mentioned impeachments. We mentioned Christmas. I mentioned YouTube walkout. We talked about The Witcher and the Lord of the Rings was dope too. That's right. The animated Lord of the Rings movie was not Rankin and Bass. That was Ralph Bakshi.
Mm-hmm.
You have this information on hand way too easily. I judge you.
I memorize it.
Well, I was around when it, and I love Lord of the Rings, and so when that came out, I was all over that. But I did not, you had to say Bakshi's name before I would have remembered it. But yeah, I remember that thing. Turns out I am.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm getting older, and I actually to the point where I think I could, actually stick a pin in the old thing itself. Although, let's wait and see. Comrade Ibot would like a plug.
Plug away, Ibot.
Glad
okay.
plugins.
Okay, I was.
Their room smells.
I was hoping that. I was wondering if we were going to get some pretty interesting.
No. I mean, we will talk about butt plugs here, no problem.
Sure. Well, I should go away then, because.
I mean, who doesn't like a good butt plug? Come on.
All right.
You know, Mike Pence fucking loves them. Mother uses them all the time.
Mm. Kevin McInnes definitely likes them.
No, I'm pretty sure that was just a regular dildo, not a butt plug.
True, it wasn't, but he did, but he liked it up his butt though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway, we interrupted Tom.
Well, yes. And I interrupted me because David had a suggestion that I watch Fanning and Alexander for Christmas. So that's interesting and a way of keeping me around a little bit longer, I guess. Thanks, David. I appreciate the observation. Anyway, no, I know it's not my hour and a half, but my back is killing me again. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with the way I'm sitting when I'm talking into the mic, I guess. So I'll have to figure that out. And in the meantime,
well, the quick suggestion: it's a snowball. So, like, do you have a way to like bring it closer to you as you lean back in the chair or something like that?
Well, I could.
But you'd be like holding it all day, and that might be tiring after an hour or so as well.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'll have to play with it because I'm almost at the extreme end of my before this will go already right here, and I'm So anyway,
just set you up in a Barca lounger
and a lav mic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
'Cause,
anyway,
I got mine's on my scissor arm. So yeah.
yeah, mine is short scissor arm, and it's kind of far away. It's a big table.
Oh, okay.
My desk is a big table, and it's kind of far away. Anyway, point being, I'm leaving, and you guys are all, fuckwits, and fuck you all, and go fuck yourself. Apparently, according to Julie, last week,
Everybody was telling each other to fuck off in the chat. Yeah.
and was it in good humor, or was it the way I mean it? Okay.
Yeah. They're not assholes.
You don't
like
beat
you.
it in good humor?
Oh no! I wish you guys would just go to hell and die in pain and suffering and agony.
Mhm.
So.
I am going to hell. I just resigned to that fact. And besides, I
Capitalism.
Like Mark
We're
Twain.
already there.
Yeah, it was just that. I mean, Mark Twain said that he'd rather go to heaven for the accommodation, but go to hell for the company.
Yeah. Heaven for climate, hell for company. Yeah. Okay, I'm leaving now because I'm starting to get pick things, and that's fuck it. Well, fuck you. Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
Now there's just two of us.
Yes. Yeah, Tom is the worst. I agree.
What about Julie? Okay, but so Tom is the worst. What about Julie and Jamie?
Is Jamie even part of the podcast anymore? She hasn't been here in forever.
She's welcome back anytime.
Anytime she wants. Yes.
Yes. Because otherwise, we'll have to get a fifth host if we want to, or just a fifth regular irregular.
She was spending time with a girlfriend for a while. I don't know where she's been lately.
Mm-hmm.
Also, haven't seen her in the chat. Should hunt her down and find out what's what.
Yeah. So what else has happened this week?
Not much for me. I've just been sleeping.
Sleeping,
playing video games, and watching, The Witcher.
I haven't. I think I'll have to catch up. I think I'll watch The Witcher after I finish watching the fourth season of She-Ra, because apparently there's something happened at the end, which the director. I saw a headline of an article. The director talks about the ending of the fourth season, so it's okay. I'll look forward to that.
Star Wars has come out, and apparently Rian Johnson, Rian, criticized J.J. Abrams for pandering.
I heard that Rise of Skywalker is a good Star Wars movie, not a great one, but a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So
a return to form from Johnson's shaking it up.
Okay. I don't want to watch it with my brothers because they both hate both of them.
Of
my
course.
oldest brother and my youngest brother hates Last Jedi. While I and my leftist brother, my older brother lives in Oregon, loves The Last Jedi. Mithral soonish will get a mic if you want another European, at least until Brexit viewpoint. Mithral, it's just yeah.
Gotta fuck off from those bleeding continentals.
Yeah, it's the UK elections. You guys did cover it quite well last week with Marty Afton at the Party Hardy with Marty. That was a good show. I did listen to it.
Oh, and you're welcome to come on though, Mithral. And I figured out how whatchamacallit won. Not so much first past the post, it's just that if there's a plurality, you win. So that is how the Conservatives got control of Parliament without having a majority of the votes. Because if you get 40%, that's the highest, then you get the seat. So the fact that the left that's why people criticize the left for splitting their votes and so on. Liberals and Lib Dems and so on.
Yeah.
So partly first past the post, but partly because they go with if you have the plurality, you win. Even if you don't have the majority.
Well, that was whenever back in 2000 or so, when Americans wanted a third party candidate because it's just two cis white guys who are just running against each other. they wanted to like more options. Chris Matthew would just like say, "How do you get a majority?" And it's just like so. The plurality in this case in the UK elections kind of did seem to like hurt the like left, or because people again splitting votes between Lib Dems and like Labour. Well, if all of the Conservatives like just vote for Tories. But then again, the right wing media with 5 different papers, all pretty much being like Fox News, and everyone over 50 listening to those things and believing that like Jeremy Corbyn is anti-Semitic and to that whole smear campaign, and not being critical of what the Tories were being or believing what the newspapers are saying about Labour and the Tories. I think that's kind of like also play a factor into it, because even BBC just buried like something like deep down of like just true facts about like Labour as compared to Tories, and so and like how 88% of what the Tories said were just like complete lies, fabrications, or misleadings.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. Hello, Sasha. Came in and immediately started attacking me.
Sasha, and now she's playing.
He.
I always forget. There you go. Yeah, he attacked you.
Problem is, he plays with the dog all day, so he doesn't know that what he's doing is a bit too rough for a person without fur.
Oh yeah, there's that. The many cuts. So yeah, that's why it's just like I agree with Captain Andy, and like again, to all of my leftist comrades in the UK, God, you probably know how we felt after like our election in 2016.
Of course, they felt that way after Brexit.
True, that's right. So it's like they get it twice, and like, and that's why Captain said. I think he said this on Twitter. Socialism can never ever be implemented within the system. The system protects itself and will always hold the power, so it never will allow reform to happen for the workers to own and control the means of production. We just gotta like rise up and do direct action and do.
So you're saying terrorism? Terrorism's the only way. That's what you're saying.
Funny enough, in Washington State, a Republican state representative. I gotta find the Seattle Times article because I saw it in my social media feed. In Washington State, there was a representative that was part of domestic terrorism.
Really? Let me guess. Middle-aged, white Christian, Republican Party man.
Yes. Matt Shea. I'll put the link into the live chat. Engage in domestic terrorism against the U.S., says the State House report. It was a report run by Republicans. So there is the link in the live chat for like people to see the Seattle Times article. He was part of the Matthew Shea planned and participated in the domestic terrorism against the United States before and during the armed takeover at the Mulholland National Wildlife Refuge.
So he was part of the Bundy thing.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He planned and prepared it, but he didn't actually occupy the place.
No, he wasn't there himself, but as the leader of the Patriot movement. Patriotism.
Why is the word patriot now means terrorist?
In my view, because how different is patriotism and nationalism?
Well, it literally means love of the fatherland. So, well, patria means fatherland. So patriotism would mean fatherlandism.
Oh man, nationalism and culture. That was actually like a nationalism culture. I listened to that audiobook from like Audible Anarchists because it's a big book by Rudolph Rocker. And so yeah, so the Audio Anarchist does have a huge playlist of like that audio version of that book. It's quite fascinating, like 21 different videos or chapters, and some of them being like long as like over an hour because Rudolph Rudolph Walker is quite a writer. So there's a link to like that audiobook, Nationalism and Culture, and yes, and in some cases, organized religion can play a part in that, doesn't
Little
it?
bit.
Huh?
Little
A
bit.
little bit. A little bit.
Although I'm pretty sure that Hitler was an atheist and he had purely atheistic reasons for wanting to kill all the Jews.
Yeah. Oh, that also reminds me is I was listening to like Democracy Now! Earlier this week. Protests the riots around the world now in India because basically India did their own Muslim ban. A new bill was passed in the Indian Parliament or government where it's like a citizenship. You're granted citizenship to like refugees from Afghanistan and Pakistan and other places around that area. I want to say Burma as well, except for Muslims.
Of
And
course.
so, of course. So students were protesting in India, and yeah, so more
Because
riots
there's a
around the world.
huge native Muslim population right there in India.
Yes.
And both Burma and Pakistan were formerly parts of India until Gandhi did his Hindu nationalist bullshit.
Again, nationalism ties into the previous conversation. How is that a good thing?
God says so.
in this country with a secular in this country in the secular state, yes. Oh God, what? I agree, comrade. But we need to overthrow neoliberalism everywhere it affects. Yes, which is everywhere. Remember, local praxis, direct action gets the goods, and like do the best you can. Listen to marginalized voices. Definitely listen to them, even if they're telling you that you are using slurs, because I don't think it's okay for leftists to use slurs unless they're a part of the marginalized group that slurs is used against and they're reclaiming it. Otherwise,
yes, Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, yes, that was also part of India. Yeah, at one point.
Not Burma. Bangladesh was, Burma was not.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Bangladesh used to be East Pakistan. Literally.
Makes sense. Yeah. Going to put in another like PayPal link. I don't know how much Kevin Logan or Kirk Logan is like hurting right now financially. I'm actually giving a little money, but like if you want to, you can give a little money to Kevin Logan with that PayPal link there. Again, so many people need to ask for money online. It's terrible, the system that we have.
Kevin hasn't found a new job yet, or has he?
You know what? Yeah, I remember last. Yeah, he hasn't found a new job, so I don't. He lost his previous job working as a security guard, and I don't know if he has found a new job as it is yet. So yeah, there was another thing. Oh, no. It's like I could show that more depressing news, but I think I will at least find one good thing that is like happening. It's like a minor thing. Oh man, I tweet a lot. Here we go. Let's see. I want to only share that, so share. Or something I tweeted out. I don't know. copy and paste the link into live chat. There, just a tiny little thing. Because yes, now there are disposable sterile hijabs introduced into the hospital. I think this was in the UK, and the reason why I bring it up because it reminded me, as I said in this tweet, of like my past manager who like lamented when we're working at a gas station, and the official dress code had it where we can't wear hats at a gas station. Can't wear hats behind the gas station counter. We must have been uniform. They made exception for religious headwear. That manager lamented that, asking, "Why should we change?" And we'll go ahead and extend this out because FYI, that same manager believes is a Christian and believes the Old Testament is fact, and homosexuals are John Burns. Screw you, damn it! Stop sharing. Hey, maybe you did not see that notification or not. I don't know. But yeah, I believe the Old Testament is fact, and the homosexuals are mentally ill. I'm glad I no longer work for that manager, my queer ass.
You know, you could terrorism her. Hello, Sasha. Actually, you can see Sasha without me having to move the camera.
Hello, Sasha. What do you see out there, Sasha?
Falling leaves and possibly squirrels and birds.
Squirrels and birds. Bird is the word. So, I think I'm running out of things to say.
I think I have too. Oh, he found a bag to play with. All right. So, I'm going to save you a small amount of effort. Watch this.
I know what you're going to do now.
And boom.
Okay, friends, that's all the content we have time for today here on the podcast. But you can find the rest of our conversation on YouTube. It's the Social Justice Alchemy channel. If you want to talk back at us, not only can you talk to us on the YouTube channel, but you can find the blog where these things are posted and where we used to have transcripts back when these things were scripted. If you're looking to find us outside the podcast, Jonathan is Some Random Geek on both YouTube and Twitter, with 3's replacing the E's in geek. That's Some Random Geek, all one word. Julie, meanwhile, can be found as Leto Anor, Letoanor, on YouTube and Twitter. She is also a moderator for Anarchist Beams on Facebook, and does crafting work at the Crypt Crafter, also on Facebook. Tom can be found as Tom McDonald on Facebook and Twitter, though how often he responds to people depends on how he's feeling that day. For myself, not only do I run the Social Justice Alchemy YouTube and podcast channels, but I take part in another podcast, the Dungeons and Debacles podcast, a D&D podcast hosted by my friend Kevin. Heck of a lot of fun, completely different. We're an evil party looking to free
We're the good
ancient
guys.
red dragon from an unjust imprisonment. You can also find me twitching most nights over on Twitch. Once again, that's Surgoshan, Surgoshan. I picked that name a long time ago, and I ain't going to change it. And that'll do it for this week in Social Justice Alchemy.
No,
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay. Pseudo-professional.
Yes. I would have put in more plugs, but like I guess that will do it for now. I already put the links in the live chat for like our friends and comrades.
We have people who need money, people who need help in this our shitty, awful, fucking piece of crap world. So give them help.
Man. Yep, I've been working 12-hour days just to do that. I originally wanted to just like hey, let's see how long I can get away with like working 12-hour days and getting the additional 20 hours of overtime pay. People have talked to like my manager, so probably not too often. However, no, seriously, I have that much work. I need to work 12 hours days. Let's see how long that lasts. Inventory is coming up. You're in inventory as well. But anyway.
They'll probably fire you, hire two 17-year-olds for part-time work. Because that's how capitalism do.
Yeah. Yes, I should think about like unionizing. At least talk to other people unionizing.
Join the Wobblies.
I am a part of the Wobbly, yes. Anyway, stop talking so that we can end this stream. Yes, it is a much shorter stream than usual because Julie's not here.
Yes.
We love Julie, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She would make it so much easier to go on for another 2 hours.
Or if Monty Abernathy was here with us too, she could easily turn to this could have been a 4-hour stream unless one of us says, I need to eat, or I have to go pee, or let's stop this now.
No, last time I peed in the middle and they just kept on going.
Yeah, sure. That's another way to do it. But now it's just like the only two of us. I guess it could entertain the audience for like a while for you potty break.
I'll just put the camera on Sasha and walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
Sasha's over there now.
Yep, on the windowsill. But anyway,
stopping the stream.
Potential comments.